Good afternoon, everyone, or yeah, good afternoon. This is the civil service meeting for Wednesday, April 17th, 2024, and I would like Louisa to please take attendance. Thank you. Second item on the agenda is the approval of the March 20th, 2024 regular minutes. I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes. I need a second. Thank you, Barbara. All in favor? Opposed? All right. Any public here? No? Okay, thank you. We'll move on to new business. A request to advertise, test, and recruit for the fleet mechanic, the motor equipment repairer for the Trumbull Department of Public Works.
Yeah, so
thanks.
DPW had one of their repair guys move on to greener pastures. So we will be, we're asking the board for permission to post for that. This will be a difficult job to fill because it requires fairly specific mechanical ability with diesel and big equipment, and it's not just a car mechanic. It is 100% training and experience based test. That's the way it was done the last time it was filled. And I've provided you both the posting and the job description. There were no updates to the job description that the department needed to make. So I'm happy to answer any questions about it.
I noticed that it says fleet mechanic and then it says motor equipment repairer. Does that mean that under the fleet mechanic title, there are other employees?
No, they all have the same. I don't know why the title is that way, but they all have the same title of fleet mechanic and then motor equipment repairers. There are four. There's a fleet manager, and there are 4 or 5 mechanics underneath them, all with the same title. Their duties are essentially interchangeable, right? Whatever equipment gets brought in for repair, from a backhoe to a lawnmower, that's they fix it, and if they can't fix it, it gets sent out.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Further down under qualifications, number 6 says provide own tools of the trade.
Yeah.
What would that be?
It's typical when you have a mechanic that they over the years have collected the specialized tools that are required for someone who's a full-fledged, motor person or mechanic, or in my experience, tool makers were like that as well, right? Because their tools are different than the kind that you would find in everybody else's toolbox. So there's an expectation that if you're a mechanic, you are going to bring those specialized tools to the job. Obviously,
like a chef brings his knives.
What's that?
Like a chef brings his knives?
Yes, I think that's a good analogy.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. Any other clarifications needed by anyone? All right. Entertain a motion to advertise, test, and recruit for the fleet mechanic. 100% training and experience. Thank you, Barbara. Seconded by Michelle. Thank you. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Terrific. That seems that everyone's on board. All right. Second is to approve the eligibility list for the Youth Services Coordinator for the library.
Okay, this was an opening that was a result of promotion, and we advertised. It was a 2-part exam. The first part was pretty basic, meaning we were looking for someone. The experience and training was that you needed to have your MLS, your Masters of Library Science, and you needed to have a certain number of years experience in youth services at a public library at a professional level. I think it was 2 or 3. I don't remember off the top of my head. But everybody in the that did well on the T&E, those were I think there were 6 people that were invited. 7 people, I'm sorry, based on the T&E that were invited to the oral exam. Only 5 actually participated. 1 never responded to the invitation, and 1 person just didn't show up the day of the oral. Of the 5 people that took the oral, 4 passed with the scores you see, and then there was 1 individual who did not pass the overall test.
Okay,
The
thank you.
oral exam was a series of 5 questions, and it was judged or rated by 3 different outside library professionals at the same at the youth services level or above.
Okay, thank you. All right, without any further ado, I'll accept a motion to approve the eligibility list for the Youth Services Coordinator for the Trumbull Public Library. Thank you, Barbara, and a second. Thank you, Alice.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any discussion or further questions? Terrific. All in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Thank you. It looks like everybody's on board again. Thanks again. All right. So the eligibility list has been approved. Any further questions or issues?
I do have one request, and that is whether the board would be willing. There is something happening with one of the other jobs that's posted that may require us to have would be good if we could have a special meeting prior to the next board meeting. So I was wondering if the board would consider, and it's not locked in, just the ability perhaps to have a meeting the week of April 29th, so that the Wednesday would be May 1st.
I can't, I'm not available May 1st.
Okay.
Do you want to, can we move it up earlier maybe?
We could try to do it next Wednesday on the 24th. Would that work?
April 24th is, I'm good to go on April 24th. How about everyone else?
Looks like Barbara and Alice are saying yes. Is
Yeah,
that right?
good.
Okay.
Yep, I'm available too.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks, Michelle.
So I'll make a decision today because I'm going to be out the next 2 days. I'll make a decision today whether we need to do it, and I'll let you know, and then we'll get an agenda put together and get the notice out Monday.
Okay.
It would be just a single item, which
Right.
would be the an eligibility list for a particular job.
Okay,
Job that's difficult to fill, and if we have enough candidates, and I think we may, I would like to get to them quicker rather than let them sit until the middle of May and then I lose out on the good candidates because they found a job someplace else.
okay.
Okay.
All right, we're pretty efficient.
So I
We'll
do appreciate your cooperation. Thank
Okay, great. Without further ado, a motion to adjourn? Someone? Oh, thank you, Michelle. And a second? I'll second that. All right, thank you all.
Okay,
Take
thank
care.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye, thanks.
Bye, everyone.